here at Carolina football's Pro Day. I'm Jones Angel. He, of course, is the Hall of Fame head coach of the Tar Heels, Mack Brown. Over there is former Tar Heel All-America Brian Simmons. So we got
soon to be Hall of Famer.
And soon to be Hall of Famer. We got some heavy-hitting football knowledge here with you today. Thanks for joining us. Coach, let's get started. Just what is the purpose of this day? What do you guys try and accomplish with these Pro Days here on your campus?
Well, we've got about 45 coaches here today, or scouts, or general managers, or position coaches. And we want them to come in and watch every little thing that our guys do. Brian's done this as a player. Mm-hmm. He's done this as a scout. And it's our job to reach out to these guys, make them feel comfortable, give them every tool possible to see every minute detail of every one of our guys that are pro eligible. So it's a fun day for us. It's a great compliment to us that we have 45 more than just the 33 teams. We got 45 people here because it gives our guys a chance to be seen.
Brian, when you were in this role as a scout, what kind of things were you looking for on this day?
Well, it differs from player to player, right? You know, some guys you want to look at, overall athleticism. Some guys you have a question of speed, so obviously the 40 matters. And then some guys it's more positional stuff. They check all the boxes with the measurables. Now you want to see in a functional drill, how do they move? So it just depends on guy to guy.
And some of the guys do well enough at the combine when they come here. This is just to do some things that they didn't get to do at the combine, or it's for guys that didn't get invited to the combine, like Ray Bahasic, so he can go ahead and have a great day today.
And even then with players, it kind of differs, right? Because as a player, you want to check different boxes. So, if some guys choose to run at the combine or some guys don't. So if you ran, but I would always tell guys, even if you ran at the combine, come back to your pro day and run, because usually you're going to run a faster time. You got a little more time to rest. And instead of being on a laser, you're on a hand clock. So,
Coach, well, for your program, what does this day mean? How can you boost Carolina football with a day like today?
Every young person out there wants to play in the NFL. That's a dream. Mm-hmm. And we say your goal is to come here, and we want you to have fun. We want you to graduate. We want you to win every game, and we want you to be better prepared for life after football when you get out of here. That's your goal. Get your goal, and then your dream is to be in the NFL. And if you get through your goals, you can get your dream. Don't come in here talking about the NFL, because you got a lot of things you got to do, and it's hard to get there, and very few get there. And the ones that get there don't get to stay very long. So get your goals, prepare for life after football, and then if you get some NFL time in there, good for you. But that's what today's about. It's to showcase our guys to the guys that are making the decisions for the pro teams. These guys will take this information back. They're information gatherers. They'll take the information back to the coaches, the general managers, and the owners. You sit in that draft room, and what some pro scout saw today is going to matter. Because if Brian was that pro scout and they said, what about these two? And Brian says, I like this one, I don't like this one. I didn't like his attitude. He didn't work out. He was lazy. He was late. This one, man, he's all in. They're going to take the one that Brian recommends.
And not only that, Coach, a good point is, obviously you want to know how fast a guy runs and all that, how he measures, but you also want to see, can he follow directions? Is he in shape? What's his body language like? How is he working with his teammates? How does his teammate react to him? Like Drake today, they're looking at all that stuff. They won't say it, but they're filing all that information in, and everything they see. I remember Coach, and I repeat this all the time, when we were here, Coach used to always say, you always been evaluated. And as a player, I never understood what he was saying when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I didn't really fully understand it until I became a scout. And when you go into a building, you talk to the cafeteria worker, you talk to the equipment manager, you talk to the video guy about a guy, and the higher a guy's going to get drafted, the more people, the more the scout's going to talk to everybody in the building. And sometimes I even had to go back to high school and talk to high school coaches. So,
and guys, we're good, and we're trying to be great.
Sure.
So we're looking at who loves football. We're looking at who's tough, who's mentally tough, who's physically tough. We're looking at who's going to bring it every day and have an edge. No different out here.
Yeah. Coach, let me ask you, and Brian and I are going to go through all these gentlemen a little bit later, but let me ask you about the Tar Heels that went through the work today. Let's start with those receivers, Josh Downs, Antoine Green, two guys who obviously have the physical ability, no question.
They do. They're fast. They're talented. They can catch. I don't think Drake threw a ball where they couldn't catch it. Right. It's you. In throwing and catching drills against air, you never want the ball on the ground. There was not a ball on the ground today. So those two guys are guys that are going to make a team. You don't know what level, Brian sat in those draft rooms for many, many years, and you can sit there and say, he's going to be drafted here. Nobody knows. Depends on who was taken ahead of him. And then, this guy's still available. Let's take him. We were going to take him. So one of the worst things our guys can do is sit and hear a scout say, you're going to be taken in this round, because you don't know.
And the scout don't know.
The scout doesn't know.
I can promise you that.
No. So do the best you can do. Wait till your name's called. Go make that team, because what you do after your name is called is much more important than what you do before.
And then, Coach, let me ask you about Reva Hassick and also Austin Richards. Their opportunity today that they had in front of these scouts. Why is this day important for those guys?
Well, it's really important for both of them, because Ray got hurt, and he was hurt both years, and it cost him some time. So he needs to show them today. He played good when he played. He was a leader. He's tough. He's a pass rusher. He's a guy that can get tackles for loss. Really hurt us when we lost him. He needs to show them today why they should take a chance on him, even though he was hurt. Awesome. We thought Awesome might come back. He was one of those that could have come back. Where does he go? Is he a second rounder? Is he a third, fourth rounder? Is he a fourth or fifth rounder? Some of the things they see today may make a huge difference in what he does. He ran really well. He's a great young person. He's smart. He's just played tackle a couple of years. All of it's ahead of him. So I think both of those guys will really help themselves today.
And, Coach, before we let you go, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about the Tar Heels. How is spring football going? How's work with your current group going so far?
It's funny. You always like your team early. Only 2 years ago, I didn't. I was frustrated with them early, and they were entitled, and they didn't compete in spring practice, and it made me mad, and I felt it. We've had 6 practices, and we've won every practice. The kids are working hard. They understand we got to get better on defense. We got to stop the run. If we don't stop the run, we're not going to get any better on defense. These guys played great defense. They gave up 9.7 points per game, 210 total yards. We hadn't held somebody under 210 yards rushing. So we've got to get better at stopping the run. We got to get better at running the ball. I just told Brian, we've got some really young linebackers that need to play. We're so thin there. We can't keep Zed and Power out every play. So we're not going to look as good on defense at times, because those young linebackers are out there learning. But it's a necessity. They've got to make their mistakes now and not in the fall. But I like the team. I like the way we're working. I like the new coaches that have come in to have the ability to bring in a Ted Monachino that's been a defensive coordinator at the Indianapolis Colts and a pass rush guru, and coach the people he's coached will help us on defense, and especially in the front seven. Jason Jones is very impressive. He and Charlton Warren have worked together. So that's a seamless transition. To bring in Clyde Christensen, who's coached the best quarterbacks in the country, and have his eyes sitting there, to have a Freddie Kitchens, who's head coach in the NFL and coordinator at 2 different places, and he's been in the Super Bowl. Ted Monachino's won a Super Bowl. Clyde Christensen's won 2 Super Bowls. So we got a lot of new eyes in those rooms, and they're really, really helping us. And our players aren't stupid. They all want to go where these guys have been. Yeah. So it's really got their attention.
And, Coach, can I follow up on that? You kind of touch points about defensively. I know every spring you go into it with coaching points and things you want to improve on. What were those things on offense?
The thing we've got to improve on offense, Brian, is just running the ball. And when you run the ball better, you're going to have better protection. Yes. We've still had too many tackles for loss. We've still had too many sacks. And we're addressing that every day. Every day in practice, I said, bring me every tackle for loss, bring me every sack, and tell me why. And I want to know why. On defense, it's just the opposite. Right. Stop the run, get tackles for loss, get sacks, don't give up explosive plays, and force turnovers. And if you stop the run and get them in second long, third and long, you've got a better chance to get turnovers, in sacks. But if you don't, you're not going to do it. So same thing. Coach Chiswick, bring me every tackle for loss, bring me every explosive play, bring me every sack, and bring me situations where we should have had pressure and we didn't. I want to see it all, and I want to know why, and I want it fixed now.
Exciting time for Carolina football. Exciting day for Carolina football here on Pro Day in Chapel Hill. He's the Hall of Fame head coach of the Tar Heels, Mack Brown. That's Brian Simmons. I'm Jones Angel. Thanks for being with us.